Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate the love, the support. We thank y'all so much for tuning in, being in the comments, and really engaging with us. You have no idea how much we appreciate it. We are an independent company, and we really do our best to bring you the best content out here. So we just want you to continue and enjoy and keep supporting. Today, I'm joined by my beautiful co-host.
Hey everybody, it's the one and only Jada B, and it's so nice to be in your presence again. And I'm so excited to get on our topics today. We're gonna have a great discussion as usual. So let me introduce my co-host.
You already know the vibes. It's Rico Hundo. Thank you guys for having me. It feels great to be back and be a special guest here at 8 at the Table. I've been, dying to be here. Oh, so I did get some information while I did, become a guest. Everybody, subscribe to our Patreon. It is up, it is live, it is active. You're gonna get some exclusive content. You're gonna get 8 After Dark. You're gonna get some never before seen clips from 8 at the Table. And also you can tap into our YouTube membership as well, because we will be having some exclusive content there. So if you don't wanna travel to Patreon, you can stay at home with YouTube if you're on our YouTube already, and just subscribe there. Or become a member there, I should say.
All right, so some of y'all gonna be in y'all feelings because we're talking about men and the bullshit that they be on.
Wow.
Is it not? Is that not the case?
I think it's very necessary.
And I can appreciate you for saying or acknowledging that. So honestly, I've seen these type of men, but I didn't know that there was a name for it.
These type of men.
Well, I'm saying, like, I knew they existed. I just didn't know the name for it. So there's like this, like, ideology, if you will, of like a man who is still in the form, well, physically he's in the form of a man, but mentally he has not developed. And so they call that a man-child. And typically what I understand is that a man-child still has the actions, the emotional intelligence, the emotional IQ, so on and so forth, of a child versus what, they would typically have at a particular age. So you 30 operating like a 15-year-old, or you 45 operating like an 18, 25-year-old, And while we're talking about men, let's be fair and say that we certainly know women who also fit the bill. So let's not get in the comments, thumb thug, and talk about, well, what about the women? This ain't about the women. We're talking about men. Tune into the next show on the Patreon, most likely, and then we can bash women.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, definitely. I'll be there.
Front row seat.
Right. So, all right, I'll just give y'all some information on this. So the accepted definition of a man-child is an adult man, and you say this all the time, you call them males and not men.
Yeah.
An adult man who doesn't behave in a calm, serious, or sensible manner that you would expect for someone of his age. So I guess if I could give an example, if you're a man and say, for instance, your wife doesn't call you when she gets home, and you like, hey, call me when you get home, and for whatever reason, she forgets. Instead of just being like, yo, why didn't you call me? I was worried about you, or just call yourself. You like go off on her because you don't understand how to control your emotions, or you don't understand like how to effectively like interact with your partner, So I think that's just a very basic example of
Let's use another one.
I mean, go. Feel free, but I just want to give something very basic that probably happens often.
I think one that is a good example for a man-child, which maybe not everybody has seen the movie, but I'm pretty sure we have seen it here. Baby Boy. Where you got Jody, who is basically running around. He's sleeping with multiple women, and he's doing it out of a mental state of uncertainty within himself. He's also still not able to provide for himself. He can't get himself his own place. He can't get himself a job. He can't get himself going, whether it be a self, employment type of thing. So I think a man-child is somebody along those lines, where at a certain point you are not responsible, or you're not able or capable of taking care of yourself and care of others.
But that's like the physical part. So I think, honestly, the crux of like the, I guess, explanation or definition of a man-child is lacking a certain level of emotional intelligence.
I agree.
And granted, we associate men with being able to provide for themselves and for their families, but I think that at a minimum, you need like the emotional intelligence to operate as an adult in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I won't disagree with that, but I think it's more than that, because emotional intelligence is just one facet of life, and although it may be,
But it drives everything.
No, it does, and it drives a lot. But I also think that there are a lot of people who are very, very emotionally intelligent, but they're not capable of actually doing certain things. So, for example, I can be emotionally intelligent to know who I am, and emotionally intelligent to know who you are, and to take care and communicate in all respective ways. But I am not intelligent in the aspect of how do I start a career. I'm not.
Immature?
Yeah, like you could be financially immature, but emotionally intelligent. You can be physically immature, but emotionally intelligent. And I think that there's a lot of things. I think that that's one of them. But I think that it goes, when you talk about a man-child, it goes amongst all of these things. Because there are some men who can get everything, financially and whatnot, but still are emotionally intelligent. And they do act like a man-child. They throw temper tantrums and such like that. But then on the flip end, there's some people who can communicate with the world, but can't actually build a path for themselves. Right.
So I have experience with many a man-child, whether it be
man-children.
Man-children, family members, experiences that my friends or family members have had with children, whatever.
Man-children.
Baby boys in them. I think one of the most important things, one of the things that makes a man-child is their upbringing and the fact that some of them get away with so much because of their mothers. You might have had an older mother that put up with more and allowed you to stay home and allowed you to eat up all her groceries and allowed you to, tear shit up and come and go as you please and not be respectful. And then you communicate with someone else who doesn't tolerate certain things, and the first thing you want to do is throw a fit. The first thing you want to do is act out because you're not getting your way. And I think, or you're just going to completely shut that person off because it's like, after I curse you out, I'm out of here, and you think you're in the right. But the only person that showed you that you were in the right was your mother or your upbringing from home. And I think that's when you become like just negligent or just inconsiderate of others, and you're no longer, you're not looking to become a man. You're comfortable with being dependent on others. I don't know.
As a child would.
Yeah, it's like a childlike behavior, and you're comfortable, and it's hard for you to express yourself as an adult because no one has forced you to be an adult. So if you go out and you get a job and you lose that job or you can't pay your bills, you always can go back home to mom. If you go out and you decide, I'm going to blow all my money on this, I don't have no money to eat, I'm going to go back home and now I can eat at my mom's house and I can spend the night and I can sleep on her couch, and you can always depend on
somebody else.
Yeah. And so
it doesn't have to be a mother, it could be anybody.
It could be anybody. Yeah.
But we know oftentimes.
Yes, exactly. You always feel like you have somebody to go back and depend on. So that stops your growth. And
it's crippling.
Yeah, it's very crippling.
And I think that now to also, let's throw some characteristics. I feel like children always make excuses. No, I'm good. I'm just go off the top. I've been speaking, and I've had a lot of men friends that became children, or guy friends that became children because we were young.
There's so many nouns.
Right.
Yeah. But they always make excuses, and they always they look for the pity, and they look to blame. And I feel like people who are adults, when they start trying to play the victim, you automatically need help. Like, whether it be you need to speak about it, whatever the case may be. But like, specifically speaking about men, I've watched men that will lose everything because they made poor decisions but blame them. They point the finger. Well, if such and such didn't do that, then such and such would have happened. But really, you allowed such and such in your life. Take some accountability for it, or you decide to invest your money in such and such, or you trusted such and such, and now you feel that you were taken advantage of. And I think that's what children typically do. They want to point the finger instead of delegate some accountability to themselves that will force them to self-reflect. Because a lot of men that are coddled, right, don't self-reflect. So those type of men that are coddled, they don't have to self-reflect because of reasons like Jada listed. They always had somebody to depend on. You know,
they act out and get bare minimum consequences.
You know what? Exactly.
Bare minimum
that's what I want to like.
I was gonna say they don't ever have to pay. They don't ever have to pay the price for their mistakes.
Absolutely.
You know, I saw the movie.
I think they can do that to everybody else.
You saw the movie, but here's the thing too. Sometimes, and it's such an unfair thing, right? Sometimes some people get the benefit of life, which that means they will always be taken care of.
Yeah.
We know.
Oh, I know people like that.
It doesn't matter what happens in their life. They could lose everything, and somehow life has the answer for them. And then those typically are the people who are coddled that turn into kind of like childlike, right? And one of my favorite movies is
Step Brother.
Not that one.
Okay.
That's really funny too.
That shit is
like,
funny.
Don't touch my drum set.
Right. You want to make fun sense?
But like the movie, what's it called? Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there was a pivotal point with Denzel Washington, the black coach and the white coach.
Shout out to Denzel, in case you're watching.
Right? Where they had a conversation, and the Caucasian coach was telling the African American coach, right, not to be so hard on your boys. Don't be too hard on them because it's. And he said, which boys are you talking about? Because you're not talking to. I'm hard on, and he started listening to Caucasian players, and he's like, so which ones are you talking about? Listen, if we're talking about the African American boys, life ain't gonna coddle them. Out there is not gonna coddle them. They're not gonna be soft on them in the outside world. So by you being soft on them here, you're only crippling them for when they get there.
Right.
You almost gave me the Denzel. The way you said it, you delivered.
I've been
You
doing
ain't
my
monologue. You know how Denzel did that like next.
Was that a monologue?
They gotta hit the left.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta you gotta quiver your lip.
Alan been having us in the acting classes.
Yeah, boy. Okay, monologue.
But yeah, so I think that happens a lot in life. Like my grandmother, she coddled one of the kids way more than her other kids.
Was it the baby?
Yes, but first it was the eldest. Well, the second eldest, because it's a whole nother story. My mom has younger siblings that are about a year or half a year older than me. So I call them my cousins, but technically they're my uncles and my aunt.
Uncle cousins.
Yeah,
cousin uncles.
They're my unctions.
Uncles.
But they were coddled, right?
I can't.
And the worst part was they used to get bullied in school because they were coddled.
I can
Not
see
realizing that it was the reason that they were being coddled.
I could see that.
And then my step-grandfather would argue with my grandma all the time, like, stop babying him, stop babying him. And then he would come home, they'd be crying, and I'd be like, well, that's my cousin, but listen, bro, like, you're on your own, you know?
You know what? So I actually love the point that you made about, like, a certain person who often gets coddled in the world doesn't have to deal with their mistakes because, like, their boys will be boys. You know, I think there's a certain group of men who, I think men typically enjoy that benefit of being like, oh, men will be men, boys will be boys, X, Y, and Z. But I think there's a certain group of men who get that benefit way more than any other men, you know? And I think that...
The good-looking ones? The sporty ones?
No, I think you know who it is.
Who? You gotta share. You gotta say it.
Oh, I thought it was obvious.
No, it's not.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's the ones that don't look like us.
They get better treatment for being coddled.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry.
If you're not a minority, that's what she's saying.
Because I feel like at the end of the day, let's be real. Like, let's say,
Oh, yeah, they get away with a
let's
lot
say
more.
like we have 16-year-old
yeah, absolutely.
Jason Jenkins.
I get it.
Who get caught with like an ounce of bud versus Jake, who gets caught. Jake
McKenzie.
Smilner, yeah, whatever. Get caught with like an ounce of bud. Like, there's gonna be totally different outcomes. Like our justice system, like is very hard on these men, and they're not on these
And 9 times out of
boys.
10,
We'll say boys rather.
I think, for me, in my opinion, when it comes to that, I'm not even gonna look at race in it. I'm gonna tell you why.
It's money.
No, it's not necessarily money. I think it's no. The reason I don't want to look at race on that one is because it's like Toys R Us. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
I don't wanna go.
A man has to grow up. And sometimes growing up is the hardest thing you have to do.
Yeah, for
You
me
got-
it was too.
Like
I'm
you have rent,
baby.
you have mortgage, you have insurance, you have all these things. And
talk
the
about
thing about it is when you got your mother and you got other people and you got your boys and y'all splitting sandwiches, you're not thinking about fixing your credit and getting yourself together, but you still a man physically. So you out in the world bagging the baddest baddies. You taking them out to eat. You chilling with them. But you can't actually hold any responsibility for them.
Facts.
You can't take them on no trips because that would require planning. You
A
know,
passport.
and a man boy is not ready for that.
Yeah, it's not.
So
Vegas ain't
for
no problem.
me, it's not necessarily a race because in our community, somebody might say they chill hard with their boys. In another community, they might call them stoners. They might call them this. They might call them that. They just don't want to grow up.
Yeah,
But
those-
Alan, I mean, sorry.
Go ahead,
But
no.
Alan, let's be real. Like, statistics are very clear in evincing how black boys or Mexican boys or Hispanic boy, whatever boys of
Minority.
color are treated versus
Yeah, I agree with
boys
that
who are not.
100%.
So that was the initial point that I was trying to make. Like, we know that like boys and men and males, whatever, they get the benefit of, oh, boys will be boys. They're gonna do stupid shit. Just like kids will be kids. Kids are gonna do dumb shit, you know? But I think that it's not as beneficial to boys of color or men of color. Because you know who's not gonna coddle you? Life, like Rico just said. Life ain't gonna coddle you. Your kids ain't gonna coddle you. Your wife ain't gonna coddle you. The bills, bills ain't gonna coddle you.
It goes back to what Rico was saying, right? So let's say, for example, I'm walking down the street and I see 4 16-year-old kids, black kids with dreads, just walking, looking like all tough.
Eating Skittles,
Do you
chilling.
know what I see?
Yeah,
I see kids.
right.
They're children. Now, somebody might be like, oh, they street. No, they're not. They're not. They're kids. They probably don't even know how to have sex properly with a girl. They probably don't even know how to do so many. There's so many things. They're kids.
Yeah.
They're coming off, or they're coming off looking like adults, and that's part of the conversation.
Yeah.
Because they haven't been put in a position to grow up yet.
Be an adult. Yeah.
They're not in the, because at the end of the day, some kids, even if they're 15 years old, they're like, yo, I gotta grow up. And there's kids at 21, they're like, I gotta grow up. And that's a man child. A man child just doesn't want to grow up.
You think it's a want? I'm sorry. Do you think it's a want or they
Just never been put in a position
Okay,
to
that's
grow
what I
up.
was asking.
So in
Okay.
Africa, I'm sorry,
Kids
Jada,
grow up at 12.
in Africa, there's this thing that they
gotta
used to
hunt.
do.
Facts.
In Africa, they did a thing when a kid turns 13. It's called a rite of passage.
Yeah.
They had to leave the kid for a week out in the field in the whatever
make it back,
by themselves,
right?
and then they had to come back. But that kid always came back as a man because it took everything out of him. It made him grow up. So the thing about it is,
back or something, some food for the
no, they just gotta survive.
Had to come. Okay.
To survive a week without food, water, and
You gotta find some kind of animal to
But
eat.
the town actually really sets it up where you're not gonna get hurt. But as a child, you know how scary that is. So for example,
by myself in the wilderness since I was born. You hear me?
you like I'm all for a guy. This is me. I'm all for a guy. Like he has 3 baby mothers and I'm all for that. If you could take care of all of them and they all know about it, they all communicate about it, I'm cool with that. That's a man. Like, yo, man, da. Go ahead.
I'm so grateful.
Don't be dramatic, Jada.
Okay. Okay, so my question is, should there be a certain way to raise your children? Because I don't want my son I don't want to coddle my son too much where he becomes a man child because I'm obsessed with my baby. So
Yeah, that's what happens.
I want there to be a good enough balance. Also, I'm just like I'm hard on everybody in my life and hard on myself, I think I am a little hard on him. So I think I won't be a coddler, but at the same time, I love him so much that I think sometimes I'm going to give him too much love and try to protect him from everything.
Can I tell you, as a man who has 3 boys, how I do it, or I'm trying to do it, I should say? I let my kids be kids till they're about 11 or 12 years old. You can play as much toys as you want, games as you want. You're a child.
Yeah.
But when you start turning 13, going into 14,
Get a job.
we're going into another world.
Yeah.
It's time to start. Responsibilities change. Things are changing. But my 11-year-old, he's trying to grow up fast. I'm like, you're still a child.
So do you mean like...
So stay in the child's place.
No, but he's
Those
a
are the ones that are
child.
ready for the world.
He's ready for the world now. But I told him, I'm gonna give you all the
Enjoy it,
smoke when
yeah.
you're 13. You might as well enjoy this now.
My question is, do you make it hard? Like, don't go in my refrigerator unless you do your chores and make that money.
No,
Okay.
no,
I don't know
not
what
about
people
that.
do.
It's more about.
Was it like teaching
My
responsibility?
baby only one, but I don't know.
No, baby.
No,
You can't have any milk.
Did you do your chores?
It's more about changing their mindset.
Okay.
So,
I want
for
to know you
example,
gotta hustle.
no.
If I wanted to snack, I gotta go sweep the
no,
floor.
not for food. Not for food.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you know what I did? Well,
Okay.
I got 2 things I'm gonna say.
Not for-
Y'all, Jada's starving her baby.
Don't say that.
You better walk. Shit. Say mama. That's how I was, but I would just
No,
tell
there we
nobody
go.
else.
Holy shit.
I think that the first thing I'll say is, I have an 8-year-old in my house. Well, he's 8, right?
Okay.
And the way I kind of help him, which he doesn't understand that it's going to be beneficial later on in life, is like he's always asking for something that he knows he shouldn't have. Candy, snacks, all day long. He won't finish his food, but then be like, yo, can I get an apple? And I'm like, because it's an apple, yes.
At least it ain't hot Cheetos.
Right.
No, but it'll be that too.
Oh.
So, but I only said the apple because I just had a conversation with him 2 days ago
About the apple.
about this. Yeah, he threw out the food and then went to the refrigerator and grabbed the apple. I was like,
Maybe
what?
because you cooked it.
No, I didn't cook it. But the thing is, what I told him is, like, if you ask him right now, like, how do you be successful? He's gonna tell you, because I kind of try to train this. I have to be accountable, reliable, and responsible. These are the 3 things that I make sure he says. We make sure he says almost every day.
Okay.
So whenever he does something wrong, I ask him, is that accountable? I mean, is that responsible? No. If that's not being responsible, is that reliable? No. Are you going to be accountable? Yes. So he apologizes and or tries to do something. So one way that I tried to help him, I said, yo, you have to negotiate for everything, right? If you want candy and you know it's late, and you ask me or you ask your mother, can I get, some candy or can I get a snack? And I say no or she says no, you should ask 2 questions, or one of 2 questions. Why not, and what can I do to get it? Because then if you say, what can I do to get it? I'd be like, you know what? Maybe I'm going to give you a chore, or you have workbooks. Maybe I do one page of your workbook and I'll let you break the rules. You know what I'm saying? So like, what eventually will happen, what I think, as he grows up and grows older, which this is my first time doing it, so I don't know, but as he grows up, he's going to want things in life, and then he's going to figure out what he can do to get those things.
Exactly.
Hopefully they're good gestures and good things, right?
Illegal.
But everything
Yeah,
takes
and legal.
work. Everything takes work, so it's good that you're
trying to instill it
better.
now.
Yeah.
And it's so hard, and this is also what I wanted to say before, and this might be a little crazy, but I really believe it. Most
Man-child?
children are products from single mothers.
You think so?
I
could
think
see
so.
that.
And because as a mom like Jada,
I'm not a single mother.
no.
Oh,
But as a
alright.
mom like
You got his
Jada,
daddy.
no. As a mom like Jada who truly loves
Jada
her,
has her family together.
Yes,
yeah. Wait, I'm just saying, as a
We be
mom
beefing, but-
like Jada, who loves her son so much, right? I watch women, and even my sister, I'm like, yo, bro, stop. You're making him soft. You're giving him so much that at the end of the day, when life hits you, because life is going to hit every single soul on this earth.
With a fucking backhand.
And the day that you're not there to hug him, he's going to break and he's going to fold, especially as a minority in this country.
Right.
Right? So I think that a lot of men that I grew up with, and I'm a product of a single parent, which I always say is I've watched a lot of other black men, especially where I'm at, or Spanish men where I'm at, or where I was growing up at, have single mothers. And I watched most of them, not all of them, most of them be weak men and be failures in life.
Oh, damn, you had to hit him with the F word?
But
Because what happens is, I think that it's so important to have both people to teach people because, like I said, my grandmother was coddling my cousin, or Unkson, right? But my step-grandfather was arguing with her about coddling him. So eventually she stopped, and eventually he got to become a man, and he does very well for himself. Matter of fact, he has his own gym in New Jersey. Shout him out. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to his gym.
But like a lot of people don't understand how hard it is to be a man.
I know a man-child, right?
Okay.
Talk
I
about it.
am not going to let anyone know who this person is because
I already know
they're
who it is.
very dear to my heart. No,
Me too.
absolutely not.
I don't know.
I was just like, wait, who is it? Cause shit.
I thought we were friends, Jay.
No. This person is very dear to me, but they definitely were raised by a single mother that actually had good influential men in the household, like twice. So the mother was married once and was in a long-term relationship for the most part before the husband. And but it was just something about the mom. And I think sometimes just the mental health and stability of the parent can affect a person as well, right? Because this person's lived, a very healthy lifestyle. They were active in different after-school activities. We did,
like all the
trips
perks
and stuff. Yeah, exactly. And I just think that the mother abandoned them.
Abandoned how?
Yes, she abandoned her child when he was, let's say 17, 16.
He's not a child at 17, 16, but
I know, but
he's ready for the world.
Today at our age that we're at, he can't figure it the fuck out.
Damn.
He can't.
which is going.
But he's an amazing person and has so much potential, but he has had so much trauma since
But-
then from being kicked out or left to the curb by the person who was supposed to.
But that's what I'm asking you, Jada. I'm sorry, Rico. My thing is this. My whole definition of a man-child, in my opinion, and that's with a no judgment, is just somebody who cannot take care of themselves, who is actively dating.
Right. And that's what I'm
But
saying.
it's more than that, though.
No, I'm talking about my definition,
Actively breathing.
right? No.
Yeah.
Because this is a love and sex and relationship
and
we
this
talk
person
about,
has
right?
Okay.
So because we talk about love, sex, and relationship, but think about this for a second, right?
5.
Think about this for a second.
But he has
You're,
5 kids and
you're
he's still-
someone. You're someone who cannot take care of yourself, and this is blank. This is not if or and. You cannot take care of yourself, but you are actively dating. That's like walking around with the code to nuclear bombs and you don't understand numbers.
Ooh, can I tell y'all an embarrassing story?
Do you understand? Because women, when they see you, you could be a handsome guy.
Yeah.
When they see you, they see a man, but you're not developed. I mean, nuclear codes in the
It
individual's
can mess up somebody's life.
You're
yeah.
destroying somebody's life. What you think happens
kids,
when you
the
drop
mama?
7 kids with 7 baby mothers as a man child?
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
But no. Wait. Marie, I think no. Hold on, I have to check this.
I went with
Marie. I think that I think
Marie though.
like no. It's like
So
I agree
Marie
with
said
that.
the person is an active participant. Go ahead.
I think when we talk about accountability,
Why don't you come sit right here so you could say it? Come sit right here. Come sit
We
that
love
thing.
you, Marie. Come on.
Bring my drink with you though.
It's a
That's,
good-
That's what it was. Man child.
Come and sit next to me, Marie. Come and sit next to me, Marie.
Don't you dare coddle him.
I know I
Getting what he wants. I never got
Oh, I believe it, cause I do the same thing.
do coddle them.
to
my brother.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
He's like my child.
I'm an enabler in every aspect of the word.
No, I think
really
it's
am.
important to talk about accountability. We're talking about man-child, and I understand that. Whether he has 2 baby mothers, 4 baby mothers, both people were an active participant.
Yeah.
But maybe
No
the
matter
woman,
how reckless he is, do you understand?
Yeah.
You're still an active participant.
I agree.
But sometimes men are so good at some women
No,
date
no,
a
you're
man's
ju-
potential. That
and
happens all
that's
the
a
time.
child.
No, but that's her choice. That's her
Responsibility.
choice.
That's a choice, and
That's
that's a
her
choice that I
choice.
don't really fuck
That's
with.
a-
But I'm just.
I think that children that can actually have babies with a woman are dating women children, whether or not they want to be,
Good point, yeah.
you know, because anybody who has everything together and is an active, functioning, full-on adult, we're not gonna get attracted to a man
bullshit.
child or a woman child.
Can I just say for the record, when you're a young man and you out here,
You don't care.
these 30-year-old women and you 19, 20 years old, they just want you.
There's a women
And they
children.
got it together.
Nah, they women
She's
children.
in her second childhood.
Yeah. She's a teen child.
Oh.
She's a
No, a
woman
tween.
teen. She's
A tween.
She's a tween.
She's in her second
Tween.
childhood. That's all that is.
A lot of girls are in their second childhood,
can-
especially on Instagram.
Don't be looking at me like that. I saw what you
Wow. Wait, so Marie, I actually agree with everything you
Jada is
said,
crazy.
but I also believe that
He said,
I think that one thing about being an adult, being a man or whatever, or just I would say being an adult, 'cause it's not a man or woman thing, is the ability to be honest. And,
Come on now.
And have people get on your show, on your program after you've been honest with them. So I think sometimes man children probably don't, they have an issue with being honest.
Mm-hmm.
Because they lack the emotional maturity, to be honest.
Right, but look, if you're,
I think they also lack self-identity.
Because you don't, because there's two different things. There's emotional intelligence and there's emotional maturity. They're not the same things. People confuse.
see
Okay,
that,
emotional maturity.
maybe they're mentally ill.
Yeah.
No judgment zone.
I mean,
They're not mentally ill. I think they want the my thing
Something's
is
not
that
connecting.
no,
There's
it's
nothing
not
wrong with
no,
mentally
it's
ill
not
people.
true
No,
there
because
isn't.
I think as a
never
man
said-
child, if somebody's a man child, you just want the rewards all the time.
exactly, but not the hard
I
work
don't
and
wanna
everything
do
that
what it
goes
takes.
into
I
it.
just want the rewards. I want the sex, but I don't want to be emotionally connected to you.
Right, yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
I want to be able to come over, but I don't want to pay your rent.
Right.
But that's fair,
I want to
though.
be able to do things, but I don't want the responsibility. It's sort of like living at home with your mother,
I've
except for the sex
literally-
part. But the thing about it is, when you're living at home with your mother takes care of everything for you. Mom, give me the car. But I don't pay the insurance or I don't pay the note.
Right.
Mom, I'm hungry.
Where's the meatloaf,
Mom.
Mom?
yeah.
Right.
So your mother does everything for you, and no one ever told you no in your house. And you take that to a relationship. And God bless you with looks and a tongue that could talk.
God, or lick.
Some dick.
But that's what I'm saying.
Lick them. They can talk and lick. But that's I don't
don't
I have a
know.
question. I gotta say, so I got days to whip.
Clearly.
Hold on, but real quick though.
Rico, go ahead, yo.
I'm just thinking because I know that I was a man child till about 21,
Oh, that's a good.
and I realized that every woman
What
that,
changed?
the fact that I
Life?
just wanted to grow up. I've always had high expectations, but
Yourself.
I've always had high expectations for myself, right? But the thing is, there's an old saying: if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So when you're a person who is a man child and you're getting rewards. So there's women that are giving you sex while you're being an active adult child. There's women that are giving you whatever you want. There's businesses or whatever that is giving you whatever you want. You're not gonna change because you're still getting all the benefits. There wouldn't be no reason for you to change. So
Absolutely.
that's what happens, and that's why these adults become children, or these adults act like children for so long in their life. But that just made me realize that there are more adult children in this world than we think.
Absolutely.
Because for you to be an adult man and still acting like a child, that really comes down to the simple fact that you have had success with adult women and or business,
Yep.
or same sex, whatever you prefer, and acting like a child. You've been given rewards by all these different areas of your life.
Okay.
So it's just hard.
Do you think that's the reason why? I always say that in our community, there are so many absent. There have been so many absent fathers because they still get what it is that they want from the women that they desire, and they can be absent, and it doesn't.
I think
Yeah,
it's so much more complex
Yeah,
than
it's-
that.
That's
I
a
got
good-
it.
that's a
I'm
good
sorry.
point,
point,
though.
though.
I know, but I think it's a lot more
I got it. No,
complex.
it's not even that complex. It's really not.
Give us the answer, Oracle.
The way.
You want me to tell you what it is?
The
A lot of men are cool with doing childish shit.
So that's why they
Like-
don't want to be fathers because they're
but
man-child
if
and they don't want to be
if you're
present.
comfortable, if you're a man I'll say you're not my opinion. If you're a man over the age of 25, you going out with your boys to the party and they talking about bring your money. If you don't bring your money, stay home. Get a haircut, get fresh. If you don't got it, chill. If you're a man and you're over 25 and you doing you rather buy something that a new video game or whatever it is and things like that, or you rather do certain moves. Nothing wrong with video games, but what I'm saying is like there's man shit that goes on in life.
Yeah.
Like if you can't do man shit, you a man child.
But that's what I'm saying. Now back to the fathers that are absent in their children's
No,
lives.
because they don't
Are
know
you
how to do.
absent
Because you got to
because
remember
you're
to do.
irresponsible?
No, it's not irresponsible. You don't know how to do man shit. You got this girl pregnant. Fuck it, I got you. Not me, but you pregnant. Cool. I don't want to be with you, but you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna
Take
make
care of
sure
your
I'm gonna take
seed.
care of you.
Right.
I'm gonna go to Lamar's classes with you. I'm
That
gonna handle
takes
my
a
shit.
level of emotional
That's what I'm
maturity for you to
saying.
be able to do that. That's
That
what
means that
it's-
you're a
it's-
man-child.
When you're a man-child, you often lack that maturity. You see how you said, like, you're not willing to accept the consequences to whatever the behavior is, or you are avoidant. When you're a man-child, that is exactly what you do. You want all the rewards
But no obligation.
without
The
any
coochie, the
obligation
nut,
or
the house
without
to sit
any
up in.
work.
You
So
know what?
I will have sex with you. You can get pregnant, and if you get pregnant, that is your responsibility,
It's
not
irresponsible.
my
Those are both
responsibility.
two children having sex together, you know?
That's true.
Yeah, but the man,
I'm
you
just
have
saying,
the ability to
but-
walk away. If you can walk away from your child
Yeah.
that you sat up there and made and created, you are a man-child because that is your responsibility. You brought that child, that human being, that piece of life into this world, and you are able to walk away from it. And then the other woman child, whoever the fuck that is, she has to now become a woman, no longer a woman child, and take
Figure it
care of
out.
this human being that you guys both brought into
And then
this
she
world.
gotta go through her whole
Does the
phase
man,
after 40.
And then does the man ever? That's not
Exactly.
the point we're on though.
still a
But does the
fucking-
man
She's a
ever
temporary
become,
adult.
Keep going.
She's a temporary adult.
Does the man ever get out?
temporary
What,
adult.
nigga? Okay, listen. This is why I got fired last week. But now they doing it to me. So what I was saying was,
Your shoes.
so does that what? Sorry, my shoe hit the wrong heels. So at what point
You're
does the
actually
man?
this.
At what point does the man come out of his man-child behavior? Because obviously having the baby didn't do that. So for the men that are not present in their children's lives, because there's a lot of them, you just go about your goddamn day. You at the sneaker store, you on dates with hoes, and the lady is at the house taking care of your child, not getting no sleep, whatever. Not my situation, but I'm just saying in general.
I would say that
When does he become a man?
it depends, right?
If that didn't do it, what will?
What can I answer?
I'm stressed out.
The army.
Yeah, right. And
child.
that's a whole different children, right? But it depends on what context we're talking about, because there's also a very big variable. A lot of men that are able to walk away from children probably lacked one of those parents in their lives. So they can deem it as normal, and it can justify it for their emotional part of their, assessment of the situation.
Can we tell them that's not normal and we gotta heal
No,
and do
it's
better?
not normal at all. But the issue is, and I'm not sticking up for anybody. I think that as a man, if you walk away from your child, you are a man-child,
And a
right?
coward.
And a coward. But I also
And a lame.
And I also think that I would also argue for the stat, because the stat has a negative stigma on men.
Baby
that-
mamas. I
Wait,
get it.
no, not even that.
Okay.
I would also argue that the stat is actually probably less for men walking away and not being present in the kid's life from the ages of 32 and younger.
What do you mean? Like the
age of
the
the
man was
The-
32 or
The amount of men that abandon their children from the ages of 32 or younger is a lot less than the amount of over that age.
So you think older men walk away from their children more?
I think that prior 20, 30 years ago, it was more normalized.
Back in like Papa was a Rolling
Yes.
Stone.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
That's-
no, wait a minute now.
I'm not gonna say normalized, but I'm gonna
But
say.
I feel like those men still took care of their home, and they took care of their second home too.
And Betty Susan home.
I mean, but well, I don't want to get into it because I don't have an actual,
Betty Susan.
Yeah.
definitive fact for it. But I was talking on.
So
the
you're just
phone.
saying like the generation before us is so like we'll say boomers
I would say 35 and older.
or Xers.
Typically, because
Gen Z.
me,
Gen X.
no,
Gen X.
Gen X.
You think X's?
I think Gen X. I don't know
I
a
don't know the
single
stats.
man. I know a lot of men, children, and some of them, unfortunately, are my best friends, right?
Sorry.
That are all man, children with children, but they're still very relevant in their child's lives. I don't.
Well, then they're not completely a man.
You know what I'm saying? No, they're still a man-child
Do
because
they have multiple children?
they still live with their parent. They're, you know what I'm saying? They still can't keep a job. They still don't have any sort of like
Direction.
Yeah, exactly, in their life or path, and they're still trying to find themselves. So to me, that's still a child, right? But yet they're still really relevant in their child's lives. Now, to answer that, all in all, with that being said, I think that if you do leave your child, that it means you are a coward. And as a man, I had a man-child moment because that, I'm not gonna lie, I'll be straight honest with you, because of the way that my situation happened, it kind of like, the way my situation happened, my mind for the first second was like, yo, fuck all of this. I don't have to deal with this. This was like against my wishes.
Oh, this is real shit.
Right? So, but when you are a man and not a man-child, you have man friends that would check you when you're wrong. And I had a lot of friends that checked me when I was like, no, hell no, you can't do that. Are you stupid? And I was like, all right, yeah, you know what, you're right. And, you know, things have changed. But when you have man children as your immediate circle friends and you can turn to male children, the problem is you get bad advice. And a lot of people do find a relevancy within their friend group. And that's why it's like an ongoing thing.
I have a question. So I mean, we've talked a lot about the problem. Everybody I'm a solutions-based person. What do we do?
Call her the solutionist.
Oh,
Aaron, the
Needs to get
solutionist.
certified.
yeah. What are certificates? Maybe a certificate.
Mail them out. Let us know when you graduated the class.
She starts her own
solution.
certificate and then
Focus.
she's self-certified and then she
I
certifies
want to be a
others.
sociologist.
Exactly.
You could take
Because I
courses.
study people
I'm not
every
gonna shout
goddamn
out,
day.
But they're
I study
free.
comments.
But but like seriously, like where and I'm gonna ask you because I feel like you would probably or Alan have a better idea of like where does it start? Is it like so okay, Jada, she has a baby. Like where does Jada start such that she can make sure that she's not enabling like poor behavior that results in her son being like that?
Besides
or like
popping them.
or where or where does
That don't work.
or even somebody with an older kid, like how do they avoid, you know, like being on a, you know, you
Breeding a
coddle your
man-child?
kid and
have
you
to
like, you
teach-
know what, this nigga's on some
You have
other
to-
shit.
there
Like,
are-
how do you fix it?
There
what
are
you said earlier
there are
was good,
some
too.
kids, let's say we want to start at that age, but there's multiple different solutions, right? But let's say we start at a younger age. There are some boys that you can identify early on in their life and be like, this is a very independent boy, this is a very dependent boy.
Right. Yeah.
Right? The beautiful thing about both is that the dependent boy, all you have to do is show him examples of who to depend on or be the example for him for who to depend on, right? So then now he's not going to be following the wrong footsteps or the wrong paths in life that will ultimately, you know, transition him to a man-child. For the dependent boy, the only thing you need to do is point in directions, but you have to allow him to experience it because he's gonna find a way to experience it or not.
Regardless, yeah.
But if you point directions and give solid reasoning, then he'll be good. But that's if you want to start from the core, which is like the birth. A lot of times it's hard because you can't put that burden on a man that early in his age, right? So what ends up happening is,
Which a lot of moms do.
I hope I'm not
They like, you the man of the house. You 7.
Should not do.
but
You're 7. What
My
are you?
child has to do like
You eating
extracurricular
chicken nuggets.
activities.
Yeah, but
That's not-
your child's not 2 yet.
No, I know,
But
but
let-
he's
let-
gonna have
let's
to be in
fast forward.
karate.
that's not gonna help him.
No,
though.
but that's not gonna. Let's fast forward to a 25-year-old man.
discipline.
So that's the thing, yeah.
Men, I'm sorry. Men, honestly, we're talking about solutions. Men need to check themselves, bro. Like, just check yourself.
But you're not. But a lot of
No,
men
no,
are
no,
aware
no.
enough
But listen to
check
what. Hold on.
themselves,
Listen to
Alan.
what I'm saying to you. Listen. If you're 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 years old, 27, whatever you are, and you're listening to this,
30 and under.
Right.
yo, check yourself. Like, check your moves. Think of it like a chessboard. You're gonna make that move, it's not gonna be a good move for you. Yo, you if you're gonna call Shorty up to go out with her, check yourself. Be honest with her. Be like, yo, I ain't got it like that. I'm not in that position. I haven't been in that position. The position I'm in is now. If you want to rock with me, I'm cool. And then she could be like, nah, I'm good. I'm not looking for another dude that's trying to get himself together. And that's okay. But when you are in that group of friends that hype you up with bad behavior, no one in your circle is giving accountability to bad behavior. Your friend with a little bit of money is letting you borrow his car to go on dates, and that becomes normalized behavior. You are pushing a thing that's not okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing. Like, people don't want to agree with that. And I used to live in Chicago. People think like Chicago is crazy. I'm trying to tell people Chicago is not crazy. It's a bunch of kids under 18 that's wild. They're kids.
Yeah.
They're under so much social pressure that they all behaving the same.
Sick.
You could be 7 years old and pull a trigger. You don't have to have any mindset for that. So the thing about it is, you got to check yourself. You got to say to yourself,
But Alan, like, what if you don't, like,
That
because you
takes
don't know what you don't know.
Influence.
Now, see, like when people,
watch it at the table.
yeah, well, that too.
Watch it
When
at the
people
table, yeah.
give
If you don't
simple
see anything,
solutions
you
to
don't learn
complex
anything.
problems,
Yeah.
it's very frustrating when you say something like check yourself. But when you have no check system within yourself,
Or your
how
circle.
can you check yourself? When you have no self-awareness, which
Or
is
role models.
that shows your lack of maturity. You have no self-awareness. You
You-
don't think. No, you don't think.
But I'm gonna
Anything is
tell.
wrong.
I'm gonna.
Hold on. You don't think you borrowing your homeboy's car is a problem. You don't think you going on a date with her.
Yeah.
You're not going to do that.
Just
Can I just real quick? Can I just touch base on what Jada said?
no. Let's stay right here for 1 second, and we're gonna go to what
Wait,
Jada
no,
said. Right?
please, I wanna
I
No.
just
We're gonna
wanna
no.
spend a little bit on development.
Let me. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna say something to the fellas, bro. This is on God. Rico, tell me if I'm right or wrong.
All right.
You're wrong. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Which is fine, because I don't know if I'm right or wrong. But I'm gonna tell you something, fellas. You can lie to anybody.
Show
You
can.
can lie to your
know that.
mother. You can lie to your cousins.
Can't lie to you.
But you lying to yourself, bro. You don't got it like that.
Bro,
and if listen to me, and if you're a man out here dating
That's not enough.
and you need to check yourself,
They're not gonna.
no. All you gotta do is check your account. That's your reality. Because numbers have no emotions.
Wait.
Damn.
Right? Numbers have no emotions. Now, if you could check your account and that thing says $1.35,
To
you
Wendy's.
still gonna borrow your man's car and you still gonna ball, you are a person that is comfortable lying to themselves.
and they're like, okay, I am.
Yeah, but here's my thing.
much.
I want to make sure that we also understand too that, because I agree, but I also think another side. A lot of men think that because they got money, they're not a man-child. See, this is why
there
I
we
didn't
go,
want to go
exactly.
with the whole financial part, because they can take care of themselves,
Yep.
right? Yeah, they can pay such and such to keep this spot looking gorgeous, right? And I can have a penthouse, and I can have, 7 figures in my checkings, right?
Ooh, speak on it.
Right? But you're still a
Well, that's
boy.
probably not a good idea.
Right? Well, I'm just saying. We're just saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like I'm a boy.
Yeah.
I'm a male. I'm not a man. I'm a male. When it comes
I'm
to
a child with money.
I'm a male with money. I'm a child with money, because what ends up happening, I can't be real.
But-
See, that's what it really separates a man, a boy, or a man child, is I can't be real. I can't be honest, not with myself. I can't be honest with you. And if I can be honest with myself, but I still lie to the world, I'm still a boy. I'm still a child. A man, and I put this as one of my captions on Instagram, a stand-up man, they actually have a dictionary, a definition for it, is a man who can stand on his word with good character, right? So if you can stand on your word with good character, if I love, and this is what I get off on in life, when I can sit here and I can tell somebody, yo, I'm gonna do this, and there's not a doubt in that person's mind. that's how you know you're a man, because now your word has so much honesty and respect to it that your word is your bond and people can trust your word. If you are a liar, if you're a person who always wants to get over on people, whether it's man or woman, for money, for whatever self-gratification, but typically you're not really you're not really
Efficient.
No, you're not really fulfilled. You're lying to the whole world, but you're not really fulfilled. But you're getting this money, you're getting these accolades, but you're still a boy because you're uncomfortable with being yourself and revealing who you truly are. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think a real man-child is. And when it comes down to it, the only way you can do it is by literally sitting down with yourself, asking yourself, who am I? What do I stand for? What do I represent? When I leave this earth, what do I want people to say about me, and how did I act upon that? Yeah. You know, a lot of men children don't do that. They don't care about it. They'll point the finger, they'll blame that, or they'll point the finger and lie about this just to make this facade about themselves. And I hate those type of people. I hate those type of men. I had dudes that would lie to girls and try to play this whole bullshit, charming shit. And I'm like, bro, stop. And I had to cut him off because at the end of the day, he wasn't a man. He was a boy trying to lie for rewards.
You know what? So Rico, I have a question.
Thank you. Hold up. Thank you, Rico, for clarifying that, because the association about the fiscal or financial association.
But I get what he was
He
trying
does
to
that
say.
with everything.
I know he
get what he was trying to
does.
say.
I know he always. It always
go out there and
circles
get your
back to
money.
money.
It's valid, but
Because
it's valid, y'all. It is valid.
When you don't
It
have
is
no
valid.
money, it really makes you think, damn, I ain't shit
no,
out here.
right.
But
You
he
know
knows
why?
about
It is
money, and
valid.
everybody in the comments
You
saying
know
it.
why I always go back to the money? Unless you were born with money, like if you start off at zero, go try to get some. You are a savage out there. It is a brutal world.
Yes,
It is
Some
that
what?
to get money.
Oh, okay.
as a man?
Some money.
But
Okay.
that doesn't always equate to
Being a man.
Yeah.
No, I think going out to get money sometimes man you up.
But don't
Somebody
you guys
told me
think,
that one time. I'm sorry, Jada. Somebody told me that one time. I was maybe 21 years old. He said, "You want to be a man?" I was like, "Yeah, get a mortgage." It's like nothing makes you more man than when you get a mortgage.
But you want to know the worst part about this time that we're in right now is that so many man children and man women are.
Did you say man, women?
I mean, man children
So no
and
judgment
baby
zone.
women,
childhood women.
girl women, toddler women, whatever the hell they
Toddler
are.
women.
So many of them are the influencers, and they're the people that we're so-called supposed to look up to, and it's like
That's real.
that shit is just disgusts me.
But 8 at the table gonna change the game like we always do.
Yeah, but it's like those same, and then especially like it's always been, something that happened in like, the athletes that get a good deal, or, like a rapper or something like that. They get a bunch of money and they're just like,
Or being born into money.
yeah, that's true, right?
You never value it.
You get people that don't really know how to be an adult, and they're influencing everyone around them. They're bringing everybody in. They're having these bad behaviors, and they're making people think that that's okay, and there's nothing okay about that. Or like the guys who get a bunch of money and they're running through women, dogging women, talking to them crazy. They're not even happy with themselves. They're insecure, and you're trying to like be the best version of yourself for them. And they're just somebody who came into money. They're just someone who, I became a rapper. I became an influencer. I became whatever you've become. And now you're making people think that you have more value than you actually have, when really you're just someone who came into money. And the money is not what's going to make you an adult.
Mm-hmm.
And when you are influencing people to not be better versions of themselves, but you're influencing people to just act a fool and,
Not be productive.
No
in
integrity,
society.
not being
You have no
productive.
integrity. Your word doesn't matter.
They have no identity.
Right, you're not really an influencer.
Well, they have an identity.
Yeah, they do have an
Their
identity.
Their money's their
True
identity.
They don't
Your
have
money is your
they don't have a
identity.
true identity. Like they're not.
They have a
like here's-
facade.
a lot of influencers, and I watched this and heard this. Do all these things for likes. They make content for dollar amounts, and they equate their followers to who they are, right? And then what ends up happening is they get lost into this facade of who they had to be. And then you typically see them go throughout life and say, well, that's not the full me. That's not the real me. Then they want to play the victim. And be like, well, you don't know what I am behind closed doors. Well, that's your fault. Because you were actually you are childish enough, staying on topic, you're childish enough to be something outside of yourself, which is still not being real, still not being honest and authentic with yourself, thinking that this, whatever that is going to bring you some type of gratification. And the only thing it does is it prolongs your maturity in life and prolongs your confidence of who you are, what you stand for, and what you represent. And I say this here at 8 at the table, and I'm so glad that, you know, life has blessed me with a platform and a team and a support system where I can make monetary gains, but just being real and being authentic and being genuine. And I think that that's what all these influencers need, because everybody's doing something for a like. You got people like, I ain't gonna say his name, but was risking going to jail by fake robberies and all this stuff just for to go viral, and then lost everything. You put all of this pressure on being something that you're not for somebody to just turn your account off and you be lost in this world. You know what I'm saying?
That is true when you think about it.
Like, so you might as well have been yourself in the beginning.
So many people go crazy.
You know?
Y'all,
Fame is the worst drug known to man.
I actually want to like kind of not change the trajectory, but I think that we still gotta like focus on solutions, because like our solutions is like what's gonna help the people. And
You took the words out of my mouth, by the way, though.
And I don't know if a solution is fathers making sure that they're more involved in their sons' lives.
Let's say you don't have kids and you're a man child.
I mean,
There's some only kids, only.
No, no. I'm like, based on what we know, and we're talking about men, so please don't be in the comments, well, what about women? We're not talking about that. We
gotta do a whole segment about women in their second childhood, because there's a lot.
And then we go to a segment
There's
about
a lot of
comment.
women. There's a lot of women trying to keep up with these young girls, and it looks nuts.
Well, but I'm just
Aaron,
saying, like, I think we need what?
No, as a pass on for a segment we're gonna do, there's a lot of women
Yeah.
trying to keep up with these young girls.
We've literally.
And you out here
everyone
looking
stated
crazy.
that.
Or young girls
Everyone
trying to keep up with the
stated
old
that.
girls.
You
All
know,
these young girls look old. These old girls don't look young. These young girls look old.
No, but the thing about it, and Aaron, I'm sorry for cutting you off. I'm so sorry
bad.
about that.
She was.
My apologies.
Oh, yeah, she's speaking.
But go ahead, Aaron. I'm
From the
sorry.
top.
Say it.
well,
I mean, let's give the people.
what I'm saying is that like, we've like given so much time to the problem.
Got you.
I want us to like you from your perspective, what do you think you can do? You from your perspective, what do you think you can do? Like what do we do? And let's just keep this community based.
Yeah.
Like what do we do in our community such that we don't continue to produce men children who ultimately are not beneficial to our community, period. Right.
Yeah.
Like what is it that we do?
Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
You know, but I think to me it's a training thing. I think like if you like and Rico said this, like if you want your son to grow up as a man, you instill man principles into your son.
Absolutely.
As a mother, you instill man principles
That's what I was
from a
gonna say.
woman's perspective into your son. You give them responsibilities. You make sure they understand what accountability is, what consequences are, how to critically think, how to not react out of emotion, how to like, go A to F before you with a problem before you react. And I think that like what people are looking for when we talk about this problem is like, what concretely, specifically do we do to make sure people don't like, have these man children?
Well,
Wait.
Go ahead.
Can I just
No,
say
let Jada go. Let Jada go.
Hey everyone. So I
Jada
think
B.
that I honestly, I'm Siri. One thing that I've noticed is that
I guess she thought
That was great.
one thing that I've noticed is it starts early. Behaviors become you at a very young age, and having both parents in my household with my child, I realize what he reacts to and who he runs to when something happens. For example, if he gets hurt, he runs to me. If he wants something, like he's not supposed to have, he's gonna go to his dad, And I just realized that having those relationships are very responsible, and I mean very important. And I think that we have to be more responsible for our actions. So if you know that you want to have children, or that you're dating someone, we need to take more time to get to know each other and take more time to know exactly what we want from the partner that we're with at the time. You know, all of this fun and game stuff is cool, but wrap it up. If you're gonna be having unprotected sex, it's not gonna be a great outcome, because when you have a child, in order to prevent situations where we have manchild and abusive, and irresponsible men and women running around, we need to make sure we make better decisions when it comes to having a good mother and father in our child's life.
I'm sorry. Don't you think it's funny how it takes a man and a woman to make a baby, but nobody thinks it takes a man and a woman to raise a baby?
Yeah.
Okay,
We
well,
know that.
People don't hold on,
That's
because
crazy.
you
It's
just
do
the
have
man-child that
different
don't know.
partnerships. You have same-sex partnerships.
Oh, yeah, but
it's like that's
It takes
not-
a sperm and an egg.
Let's go
Okay,
parents.
hold on, real quick. Before
All
you
right, let's let Rico go.
yeah, before you go into that.
If I had to give a solution, and this is a proven solution that has worked. in
Not
my-
proven.
proven.
Where the certificate at?
proven to have worked.
Where's the line?
Listen, like everybody be looking for certificates. There's a lot of certified people that shouldn't be certified. Okay.
Fact.
So what I will say is this is proven to work.
The certificate.
In your household.
No, in my life, right? Not household, in my life. I don't think your behaviors don't make you forever. It makes you until you become a real adult, right? And there has been two people in my life that me and my best friend have mentored from a young age. And one of the stories is, he actually hit me up today and told me, he's like, yo, I haven't spoken to you. I really miss you, bro. And he was saying, thank you, how like me and my best friend, how we helped shaped his life to become a man now that he's in college. And he's like a junior in college, almost graduated with a full scholarship at that. And I think what happens is, as a boy, I got lucky for the time that I really needed it is the time I had a stepfather. So my mom, women need to understand that you cannot teach your son how to be a man. You can't. I'm not trying to get into a gender thing.
'Cause you don't know.
But you genuinely don't know. And like I say this, I got lucky because at a pivotal age, and I'm gonna say 13 was that age, is when I had a stepfather. Well, he came into my life around 10, but I didn't trust him till 13, right? And from 13 to 17 is when he helped shape shift the man in me. You know what I'm saying? And just like the example that I'm using, he was around 14 when he reached out to my best friend, and they saw each other working out in the gym in the complex, and he said, hey, my dad isn't there. I don't have any older brothers. I just really want to talk about women because I don't get it. And that's how the conversation started. And then from there, you know, my best friend was trying to explain something to him, and he couldn't get it to him. So he's like, yo, can I call my best friend? And you cool with telling him the situation? And we're going to collectively have a conversation to see who can communicate with the most receptive way for you. And since that day, since he was 14 years old, and he's 20 years old right now, 6 years, he's been, like, we call it, under our wing. And in those 6 years, he graduated as the best athlete in his school. He got full scholarship. He's doing well in his academics, and he's on pace to graduate on time. And I think that's a solution.
Community.
Yeah, as a man, especially if you're a man who's confused about what to do, whether you do have your dad or you don't have your dad, doesn't matter. You ask somebody who you really genuinely think is winning. Ask a man who you think is winning at being a man. You know, and then when you ask a man, you trust that man because you think he's winning. So you trust him to guide you, and you know as a man who's winning and who's not.
Do you know that as a boy?
Well, as a boy, you know it too, because as a boy, you see what you want to emulate, right? So, you know, and this was another, you know, pivotal moment for me too.
And also, women need to figure out what a man-child looks like, because a lot of y'all just let that shit flow.
Yeah, which I don't want to get into that.
No, we're going to talk about that on the
yeah,
follow-up.
Because there are the reasons why there
second
are
child.
men
Man
children
child.
winning.
A lot of women.
And those
yo.
are the women that I be trying to
You're giving
say,
a cookie
don't
to a
let
bad
these women
dog.
win. I mean, don't let these men win. And there'll be a lot of man children in the damn comments
So
and stuff.
That's not win because they don't
Well,
know better either.
They
But
gotta
hold
know
on,
better.
I
It's
mean-
just women having more.
As a man, you just need like a big
Listen,
chain.
I think the
No.
primary. Hold on.
You need a certificate. I keep
No.
saying you need a goddamn
Excuse me, sir,
certificate.
can I see
Well,
your certificate?
guys, I got a question for you guys,
Hold
right?
on, real quick.
Go ahead.
Before you just bypass, I just want to say a lot of people are parenting their children because what we know, evidence-based, is that your primary caregiver is your biggest influence,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
We know that without a doubt. But a lot of
What if
people...
the streets is your primary caregiver?
No, your
Okay.
primary caregiver is your biggest influence. And a lot of people are parenting and they can't parent past their issues. Do you see what I'm saying? So they parent their children with a lens of their issues. So if
Their
you're-
limitation.
Yeah, whatever it is. If
It's
you
the
have
context of your life.
If you have abandonment issues, you are parenting through that lens. If you are over
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
doing a lot, it's through a lens. So the primary thing that you can do as a community is realize we are living in the age of information, and there are a lot of resources out there.
Yeah.
There is a
More
lot
than
of
they've
help
ever
out
There
been.
should be like.
I think more
there
people
should
are
be-
trying to heal,
There
though.
should be like I don't know all the stats, but I definitely know that there are women groups, right?
There are a ton of free groups.
But what
out
I'm
there.
saying is, there are, to my knowledge, and if there are some, it's dope that we start to actually shed light on them. To my knowledge, there are not a lot of young man groups, right, that can help you sculpt
There are.
you, build, be
Yeah,
a
like
man.
a lot.
There
But
are
I'm saying like,
mentorship groups.
yeah, but I'm saying, but when we label it as mentorship, like right now it's like mentoring what, right? But when we say like there's groups for young men, right, to help be a man. If you need an out, if you need a representation and or you know, a role model, I feel like that should be something that should be
Like
talked
a
about.
Big Brother program.
Yeah, like a Big Brother program. Like I'm pretty sure, like
100 black men.
You might,
That'd be nice.
you might work in this field, so you're very knowledgeable. But I don't know nothing about the field. But I do know that there are women groups. But I never, as a man, felt like I knew that there were
okay, I see
man
what you're
groups.
saying, yeah.
There's no education on that.
That
you know?
needs to start.
There's a lot of them, actually.
and it needs to be in the inner
Actually,
city.
A lot of them. There are a lot of them that are given where the boys don't attend. A lot of them in urban high schools are taking place. Actually, in the state of New Jersey, we're just going to talk about New Jersey, the Children's System of Care has a ton of free programs, free at no cost to the parent, that kids can participate in. And you could just Google New Jersey Children's System of Care, and you can find a whole bunch of... No, the parent has...
has to be
And they...
active
Oh,
enough.
by the way, there are parent resources. Yes, but there are parent
The
resources.
kids are not going to do the research, though. The parents
My
have to
my
be
mom
active.
taught in Newark for about, I think, 7 years. And she was breaking down, coming home, breaking down to the point where I had to go to school with her one day. I was in like 8th grade, like, what's going on? And it's so crazy because, when you see it, when you hear it, it's one thing. When you witness it, it's a different thing. And you witness all these kids, you know, specifically minority kids in this area, where I remember vividly there was this boy, he got suspended, and he got suspended for stealing from lunch. And when he was stealing from lunch, they said, why are you stealing food from the cafeteria?
Right.
And he literally said, and my mom broke down, I remember this very vividly. He said, because this is the only time we're gonna eat. My mom hasn't showed up in 3 days. I don't know where she is.
And they suspended him?
Yeah, and he got suspended.
And that's what's messed up.
But here's the thing: a curriculum and a school system, they don't. Even though they do know, they can't treat every household the same.
Yeah.
So it becomes very hard. But then you got this boy who dad he probably doesn't know. His mom is nowhere near present. She comes and goes in and out the house, and then he's in the 6th, 7th grade. What do you expect? On his own, stealing from school to survive.
Right.
And then it gets to a point that we're like, yo, you know what? We shame these people when they grow up and they're messed up. And it's like, well, what do you
That's
expect?
why I said mentally ill. That's that's trauma.
But
that
the thing
becomes
about it is,
mental illness.
the thing about it is, you most people, and this is my own personal theory. There's a difference between being hot now and hot later.
Word.
And I think that's the thing that man-child, women in
They
second
want to be
childhood.
hot now. The microwave people.
You could be hot now. It's cool, right? But you got to remember, at 45 years old, if I've been out in the streets, like really in the streets since I was 18, right? Not way before then, but let's just say 20. So I got 25 years outside. I seen them come. I seen them go. I seen them hot. I seen them go.
I seen them not.
got rich. I seen them go broke. And I remain constant.
Facts, yeah.
For 20 years straight, constant, 25 years, maybe more. I've been
I
out
mean,
here.
so you say.
Right? No, I mean, of course but what I'm saying, the point of what I'm saying is,
It's always a roller coaster.
no,
but-
it gets bad when it's
Okay.
bad.
Oh, you mean like rock
When it,
bottom?
so
like,
talking about
what
King of
happens
Cod
is
down.
that
Okay.
when it gets bad, that's when you man up. See, the thing about it, somebody says the 1%, the reason they control all the money is because 99% of their life was failure. So they got through failures, right? Well,
We're gonna
point-
say it's because they were
always
born
trying
into it.
what I'm saying is like a lot of man-childs are afraid of failure. They're afraid of losing. They're always squeezing to where it's the safest at. And life doesn't work like that. You gotta take some beatings in life.
You have to.
You're gonna take some bad beatings. Now I'm talking shit. 25 years out here doing it.
You have foundation.
But I have a strong foundation.
I know. See, you talking about people who have zero foundation. The house is built on sand.
She just came for you.
And like,
The mother's not there.
like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? You
Just
had a
saying.
father. You had something that you could model. You know what it's like to lose everything and be able to build it back up.
10 times.
Okay, but you know what? There are people. Okay, but there are
the
people that will lose it one time in life,
that's
and that's
it.
it. They will crumble. They have no idea they could build it back up. So I just
You can't
think
build it back up.
You
The idea they
can.
can build it at all.
You can't. That you can at all. So I feel like when we speak, and I know you always talk about, I feel like you have to have some compassion and understanding to realize not everybody was as fortunate as you. Not everybody was fortunate as you to have that man at 13, because research show between 10 and 13, that's the most critical time in a boy's life. So if somebody doesn't have that, if you don't have that,
No, but I don't excuse that. You know why I don't excuse that?
We're not making excuses.
No. You know why I don't excuse that? Because
Alan?
I'm a person who understands roles, like you said.
he's a Republican.
I ain't no Republican.
And so what? This is a no judgment zone, Marie.
It's not on the wall though.
Republican or Democrat.
That one ain't on the wall.
Aaron said in her house there's roles, right? Everybody know their roles. My thing is this. I'm cool with my role. If my role is 3rd place, 5th place, 8th place, just tell me what my role is and I'm gonna do the best in my role. So if you're a man-child and you're not in that position to be things, stop trying to go for a position that you don't qualify for. Like,
But why do you want to discourage someone from trying to like
Because
level
the
up,
thing
do
is,
better?
You have to be,
Everybody
you gotta
can't-
be realistic with your strengths as a man.
Aaron.
I agree.
No,
I
and-
agree.
And the thing is, like,
Well,
but when I say strengths, when I also want to make sure I clarify, realistic with your strengths, I'm not saying like your abilities. I mean your level of tolerance.
you can actually do.
No. I'm talking about your level of tolerance, which a lot of times you really can't you can't. It's very hard for people to train a higher level of tolerance of beatings from life. So it's
So like just taking a lot of L's.
yeah, like for
not
example,
for you, man.
I took
Like,
L's from the
it's
get-go. I came
tiring.
out the womb getting
No, I
punched.
agree. I'm not against that.
you're coddling right now.
But what
No,
I'm
I'm
saying,
not.
Yes, you are.
what I'm saying
ahead.
is, if you know, for example, let's say if I was like, yo, look, I'm looking at Aaron, because Aaron has to be a boy. We talk about men. I'm looking at Aaron. I'm like, yo, Aaron, listen, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Your whole life you've been sheltered. You stepping out over there might not, most likely, is not gonna be the best for you. If you want to, are you cool with losing every single thing? Are you cool? And then, but like when you say that, ego comes first. Yes. So now you gotta break it down. Are you cool with not being able to eat and starve for 4 or 5 days? Are you cool with eating ramen noodles? Are you cool with roaches running around if you have to go that far down?
Living in your car.
Are you cool with living in your car? Are you cool with when you want to cry, there's nobody there for you to rub your back
No
or
hugs.
tell you it's okay. So like we got to make sure that people understand their strengths and the road that they're going, because sometimes 3rd place might be best for you because the pressures of 2nd and 1st will break you and you will never be able to rebound your 3rd place. You know, Essel said it here one time. He said, I don't want to be the boss. I don't want all of that. When it's cool to know what you do best with, you know? Everybody, especially right now, we live in the hype era, right?
And everybody hyping everybody
wants to
up.
be the man, right?
It's funny because technically yes, but like that's where like I pretty much feel like I calmed down, because I used to be like in the mix and everything and stuff like that. But I actually met someone, had a baby with someone who was exactly like you said. Like, he doesn't mind grinding. You shine. You go do that. But I'm going to grind and I'm going to get to it. And I don't care how I look and I don't care what I got going on. Like, he's like, oh, I'm going to be what I'm supposed to be. Like, no matter
And it's
what.
going to take time.
It's going to take time. And
It might take him 10 years to get what he wants.
Made me look at things very differently. It's like, you're absolutely right. And I respect that grind because everything that you just said, I'm just like, yo, if he got to go live with a few roaches for a little while, he going to do that shit.
He can go live with a few roaches.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. He going to do it. I'll be down the street. I'll be close.
I'll take a few mosquitoes.
Aaron.
What I said, a mosquito.
But he go and grind and get, he don't.
Y'all don't know about them Texas roaches now.
But
Come
like-
on now.
All right, they're like this big.
But like, this
Yes,
is the
like
hype
the Florida
era.
roaches.
But this is the hype era,
Nah, I
though.
don't do
People
that.
will not sacrifice. People want a quick instant
but it doesn't
gratification.
matter. Look, this is a real story that just happened. So I came in here, my friend was telling me, he was like, yo, I was at the spot. Yo, you remember Shorty, the this da, 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 da. She was dancing like 4 years ago. Da, 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 da. I was like, yeah, oh man, that. He's like, yo, she looked like a house. And this is no fat shaming, right? She looked crazy. But 3 years ago, you couldn't tell her nothing. But then look, so she was in the hype. And when the hype is gone, it's gone for you. So what I'm trying to say is like, you're going to win in the short term, but you're going to lose in the long term.
That's what it is.
So
I
when
just had the whole
you
conversation
like
with somebody.
you a man, it feels good. I know it feels good. You got it now. You're doing it now, but you're not gonna get it. You know, my dad
Not
told
gonna
me
keep it.
when my dad thought I was gonna go in the street and sell drugs, he was like, "Do it." He said that to me for real. He was like, "Just
"You'll
understand." No. He said there are rules to being a drug dealer. You must be very comfortable with killing your friends, because that's that business. That's the rules of that business. You'll never trust nobody in your life. You'll always be paranoid. And you might kill your own family because it comes with the business. So you do it if that's what you want to do. But I was smart enough to understand, I don't want to kill my friends.
I thought you were about to say, I don't want to kill my family.
Right.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
No.
Alan.
We all have a couple memories
you
we
didn't
can live
think about
without.
it.
Killing my family is not even...
Speed it up now.
Yeah, no, killing my family is not even a thought, right? But what I'm saying is I don't want to kill my friends. I don't want to become a killer. You know, everybody's a killer in them, but I don't want to become a killer. The point of what I'm saying is that
Definitely there.
you have to sign up for that. So I'm gonna go with Rico on this, Aaron, is that everybody is not gonna be everything that you think you're gonna be. And that's okay. Sometimes the position you got, if you play it the best, you win the most.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with
I'm
that.
almost a woman child, so. And-
All right, Jada. Woman tween.
I'm just trying to find the right term.
Let it out. Yeah.
Paul went silent. Woman child.
So the thing with 8 at the table, and I hope that our audience understands that if you meet Jada on the street, and you meet Aaron on the street, and you meet Rico on the streets, I promise you they are 100% who they are.
Facts.
They are themselves in real life. They are themselves everywhere. And we just want to encourage people, if you are a man-child, you know what you do? I'm going to give you a little exercise you do.
We gotta give them tough
Get
love.
therapy.
Like, man, children need to be beat up a little
Get some
bit.
therapy.
Punch them in his
Forget
chest
about
real quick.
you got to get therapy,
Get some
yes.
therapy.
But if you're a man-child,
Therapy
you know
is
what
not
you
gonna
do?
help you become a man.
When you go home and you look at your bed, take your sheets and take a pillow, sleep on the floor for 30 days. Get uncomfortable.
That's not uncomfortable enough because you could.
I don't know. That only works for a certain age group. 'Cause when you get to a certain age,
Right, you be like,
baby, that back ain't gonna work the next day.
You gonna really remember then. It's like, you know what? Hell no, this shit don't work for me. My back hurts
But
right
also
now.
on the flip side,
It's accountability and
if I'm a man-child
Y'all
though,
up here?
if I'm a man-child, I let a woman take care of me. Fuck it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That's what I've been
Take
arguing.
care of me.
That's a
I'm
good
not
point,
mad at it.
Alan.
But
That's
that's
actually a
what I've
good
been arguing
point.
since I've been on the show. Do not fall for a man-child. Don't fall for a man-child. That's all I've been really
But then
trying
that
to
has
say.
to go with the women that's gotta stop wanting to fix men.
That too.
Don't try to fix these men.
That too.
You know
And when
what
a
I'm
girl
saying?
call you daddy, she's like a second childhood. She's like, that's daddy.
Oh wait, can I?
so
Ah,
bad.
that's the next episode, guys. Why does she call you daddy?
Because it sounds
I don't do
You
that.
don't even like.
No more. No more.
I like it though.
See?
I only,
That just sound good.
I only like it from. I only like being called daddy from women who had their fathers in their lives.
Who are emotionally
Okay.
stable.
Because they actually got a daddy. You ain't-
That's a lot of respect now. All right. I know you respect your dad.
I took your
You
daddy's
just be calling
spot.
everybody
don't you
daddy.
think
You don't
it's
got a
even
dad.
sexier?
That's true. That's actually true.
You don't think it's even sexier when somebody says your name, like your real first name?
No.
Like,
No.
not your nickname.
No.
You better not call me by my government.
First of all, if you chilling and you like, nah, like, what's up? She's like, daddy, stop it. You like, oh shit.
My bad. My bad.
That's gassy.
play.
That still works.
Absolutely.
That's
You like, oh shit.
Listen, I got a weakness. Don't say Poppy. If you call me Poppy,
No,
it's
not
gonna
Poppy.
say
You
that.
daddy.
Wait, no, you can have daddy.
Do you like daddy with a Z or you just
Don't
No, I don't need all that Z, all that extra
Call me
remix.
daddy.
No
no
remixes.
remix, y'all.
No remix. Yo, first of all, a girl calling you daddy for the first time is equivalent to a girl saying I love you the first
Okay.
time.
Wow, really?
Pretty much. Yes.
Yeah.
What to them, apparently? I mean.
Are you a guy? Are you a man?
No, to
No, right, you right.
Are you a man?
No, to Alan.
Are you a man?
Don't be speaking for men.
I hope that woman ain't calling a man daddy that they don't love. Now I don't respect it.
No, you get women are calling men daddy just during sex.
In the moment, in the moment.
Oh, no, I get called daddy
And-
throughout
and
the
I
day.
think it's the same-
everybody's getting
Yeah,
called
by your
daddy.
kid.
And I think it's the same thing for women. If-
I said
if-
a text message said today.
what does a guy say? He'd be like, come here, mommy. That's B?
They say it's 8
No.
o'clock.
I'm not gonna lie, I like being called mommy,
Hey,
bye.
now you in trouble.
How? I'm talking in general.
Kidding.
You may call me daddy.
We don't need to know that.
Wait a minute. I'm not even shocked though. I'm just like, she looked like
Make
it.
sure y'all subscribe to our Patreon. 8 After Dark is going to be lit. It's going to be a lot of daddy calling. This has been a great episode. I hope y'all enjoyed. We'll see you next time at 8 at the Table.
Peace out.
You need your shots.